The average millionaire and the average broke person buy exactly the same things, but there's one massive difference in how they spend their money. But here's the thing, it's not about how much they make or even how much they buy. It's about these 12 specific things that are stealing 68% of your wealth. And the worst part is you're probably doing at least 3 of these things right now without even realizing it. What's up, everybody? I'm Rashida and I'm your guide to smart money moves. I began my wealth building journey at the age of 17. I've grown my portfolio to 7 figures and I did it all on a police officer salary. So it's my mission to help you understand that you can do it too. So let's go. The first thing is going to be credit card interest. This, without a doubt, is one of the deadliest wealth killers because it's designed to be invisible. That $5,000 balance at 22% APR, making minimum payments will cost you an extra $7,800 in interest. That's like buying everything twice and getting nothing extra. But here is what most people miss. You're not just paying interest. You're paying interest on top of your interest. And that is going to create a spiral that gets harder to escape every single month. And if you're doing this with multiple cards, now you're caught in several debt tornadoes at once. And so if you want to break free, here's exactly what you can do. First, stop using those cards immediately. List all of your balances and their interest rates because a lot of people don't even realize how much interest they're paying. So it's going to be hard for you to actually wrap your mind around the reality of it unless you see it written down. Then you're going to have to commit to paying down this balance. You can attack either the high interest rate first, which will be your avalanche method, or you can start by tackling the smallest balances first and then go from there. That is called the snowball method. But never make just the minimum payments because you'll never break free from that cycle. Second up on our list is going to be the subscription trap. $9.99 here, $14.99 there. How bad could it be, right? The average person has 12 subscriptions costing them over $220 every single month. That is $2,600 vanishing from your account every single year. But here's the shocking part. When surveyed, most people can only name 5 of those subscriptions. So pull out your phone right now, open your bank statement or your credit card statement. I'll wait. Now let's categorize your subscriptions. Now your essentials are going to be the ones that you use every single week. These are ones that you use all the time. Your nice to have subscriptions are going to be the ones that you tend to use monthly. And so those zombie subscriptions, go ahead and just cancel those things out immediately. And for the ones you categorize as nice to have, go ahead and ask yourself, would I buy this again at full price today? These companies design these subscriptions to make you forget about them. So don't let them win. They make it so easy for you to go ahead and sign up, put in your credit card info and pay, and they make it a task to actually go in and cancel. Then the last thing I want you to do for this category is to set up a quarterly reminder in your calendar to go in and audit all of your subscriptions. Every single quarter, go in and get rid of anything that's a zombie that is sucking money from your bank account. And speaking of subscriptions, please check and see if you have subscribed to the channel. If you haven't, please consider doing so. I come here every single week sharing my tips and strategies to help you turn your income into real wealth. That is my mission. Now let's get into the designer brands. Now we all want to look good. We have to ask ourselves, are we looking so dang good today that we're actually forfeiting our future financial freedom? Because the average luxury consumer spends $6,000 every year on designer items. If you were to take that same $6,000 and invest it every year at 10% interest in 10 years, you are going to be sitting on $120,000. And so you can't just think about that as spending $6,000 on clothes or handbags or a nice watch. You are actually giving up $120,000 in future wealth. And so if that doesn't convince you, let's keep going. In 20 years, you are looking at $418,000. And now if you really want your mind blown, let's look at what happens in 30 years. Instead of buying all those luxury brands, you invested that $6,000 over a 30-year period, you're sitting on $1.1 million, guys. And so if we are in that designer brand camp, we must understand that we are literally giving up our chance to have over $1 million while making the owners of Louis Vuitton and Hermes ultra wealthy. And so again, you can't just think about it as buying designer brands or spending money on these things. You are actually choosing to give up that future wealth. But here's what really makes this trap so dangerous. It's not just about money, it's the psychology. Because designer brands have mastered making you feel like you need their products to be successful or to project some sort of status onto the people around you. You have to understand that they are selling you a feeling and not just a product. Here is how we can break free. Let's try to focus more on quality instead of labels, and buy classic pieces that are just going to last you for a long time. Don't be as concerned about what's trendy or what's fashionable this year or the next year. And then put boundaries on yourself. If you really want to make a luxury purchase, wait 30 days and see how you feel about it. If you still just have to have it and it fits your budget, doesn't allow you to go into debt to get that thing, then by all means in 30 days, go for it. And the most important question you want to ask yourself before making that luxury brand purchase is, will this matter in 5 years? Will this matter in 10 years? Because remember what we're giving up. Next is going to be the food delivery tax. You've all noticed how food delivery has exploded in popularity, especially since the pandemic. But it seems like everyone is getting their meals delivered to the house nowadays, and I am definitely somebody that falls for this trap. And while it is super convenient, this is actually one of the fastest growing wealth destroyers that are out there right now when you really look at the numbers. Because the one thing that these delivery apps have mastered is hiding the true cost until it's too late. That $15 restaurant meal can quickly reach upwards of $30 after you factor in things like delivery fees, markups, and tips. And what's wild is most people don't really have an idea of how much they're actually paying. So let's break down what a typical order looks like. The base meal is going to be $15. So if you went inside a restaurant, got that exact same meal, you'd be paying $15 plus tax, you're out of the door. But if you are using a DoorDash, a Uber Eats, a Grubhub, you are going to have a restaurant markup. That is going to be seen in the price posted. So that's going to be another $3 on top of that $15 because they usually hike it up 20%. Then you're going to have a delivery fee of probably $4.99 or more unless you are a monthly subscriber. And we're trying to cut out subscriptions, right? After that, you're going to have a service fee, which basically goes directly to the app creators. That's going to be another $3. And if you're somebody that's just ordering a simple meal for themselves, well, the restaurants don't really want you ordering through the app. So they're going to charge you an extra $3 on top of all of that because they really prefer to be shipping out much larger orders for families through these apps. Then you got to tip your driver. All right. So you know that that's going to be at least an extra $5-6, just depending on your total. And so your meal just went from $15 to over $34. That is a 130% markup. And so if you're doing this 2-3 times a week, that could very easily be over $3,000 that we're spending annually in just delivery costs. So let's look at some smart alternatives together on this one. First, we're going to try to do more meal prepping, cook more at home, obviously. And if you just have to order out, please try to go pick up the food. You can still order through these apps, but you're not going to be subjected to the same delivery fees if you just go pick it up instead. And another good tip is just to keep some frozen meals on standby. So when you're in a pinch, when you are dog tired after work and you don't feel like cooking, you've got some meals ready to go and you don't have to worry about ordering out and spending all of that extra money. Now, speaking of hidden costs that are destroying your wealth, this is probably one of the biggest wealth killers in the US right now, especially among young professionals trying to look successful. And that is going to be the car payment prison. Here's what dealerships don't want you to realize about your car payments. A new car is going to lose 20 to 30% of its value the moment you drive it off the lot. But that's just the beginning, because now the average car payment in the US just hit $767 per month. And if you're driving a luxury car, the average payment is $1,200 per month. So that is not just a payment, that is literally a prison cell for your wealth. And so if we want to shift our mindset to that of the wealthy, we don't want to be asking how much per month, we want to be asking how much total. We want to be asking how much is the total cost of ownership. We want to be asking how much is this item going to depreciate. So a lot of these things that we think of as assets really are just liabilities. This thing that you use is really only costing you money. Yes, you are using it, but you're never going to make money from it. You're only going to spend money on it, and it's going to go down in value as time goes on. Now, the smart car strategy is going to be to look at buying a car 3 to 4 years old, because it has taken most of that depreciation hit. Now, if you're someone that just has to have a new car, you really need to commit to keeping your cars a very long time. That way you can catch those same savings on the back end of the ownership instead of the front. So if you're buying new or used, try to commit to keeping your cars 8 to 10 years. If you're buying new, you want to keep yours 10, 12, 15 years to really get all of the value out of that car. And you could be diverting so much money every month to building wealth, investments, retirement, reach real goals. A car is not a real goal. Also, if you're going years without making these monthly payments in perpetuity, because most people, they get a car payment and they just keep one forever. As soon as they pay that car off, they're buying another one and another one and another one. So they keep a car payment. If you stop doing that, and you're able to save those monthly payments, the next time you want a new car, guess what you're doing? You're going into that dealership and you're gonna stroke a check for the complete price of it, instead of taking on a new loan and paying interest and just staying in this vicious cycle. And then last but not least, we never want to lease or finance luxury cars. They take the biggest depreciation hit by far, and they lose value the fastest. All right, now next up on our list is going to be the tech upgrade cycle. Now, if car payments were the wealth prison, then these tech upgrade cycles are going to be more like a little hamster wheel of endless spending. The tech industry has perfected the art of making us feel like we need the latest and greatest, even when our current devices are working perfectly fine. Think about this. When was the last time your phone upgrade actually changed anything about your life? It feels new for like 2 or 3 weeks, and then it just feels like the last phone you had, to be honest. Yet the average American upgrades their cell phone every 2 years. And so let me show you the real cost of staying on the upgrade treadmill. Now, the annual iPhone upgrade is going to cost you in the neighborhood of $1,000, of course, depending on which model you get. It can cost upwards of $1,200, $1,300 if you're going for the top tier iPhone. Now, the case and accessories, that's going to cost you probably another $100. Then the protection plan that so many people buy for is going to be another $200. That's going to bring your annual upgrade total to almost $1,300. But the problem is, it's not just phones that get us like this. It's going to be your phone, your computers, your laptops, your tablets, your smartwatches. The average household is actually spending $2,000 every year on tech upgrades. And so a smarter tech upgrade strategy is going to look something like this. Let's try to keep our devices until they really start to show signs of not working properly, or if they're not receiving the updates. That's when you know, hey, I got to get rid of this phone. Let's wait closer to that mark instead of, oh, it's 2 years, time to get a new phone. And then when you do decide to go ahead and make that new upgrade, try to get 1 generation behind. These phones operate perfectly well. You're still pretty close to the latest and greatest, and there's not going to be a huge difference from this generation versus the brand new hot item that's on the market. And you're going to use repair services instead of replacing your phone. And then always ask yourself before you upgrade, is this actually going to improve or increase the value in my life? Now, you may think that you're safe from impulse purchases because you're good with money, but here's the thing. Retailers have spent billions of dollars studying the psychology of spending, and they're getting freakishly good at triggering our impulse buying habits. Did you know that the average American makes over 150 impulse purchases every year? That is 3 per week. And most people don't realize they're doing it. Americans waste nearly $2,000 every single year on just impulse purchases. So these small purchases that we tend to think of as very harmless really destroy our chance at wealth because they bypass that logical part of our brain and go straight to emotion. And so some of the more common triggers are going to be grocery store add-ons, online cart fillers. We know that Amazon has mastered this. They're better at getting us to buy a cart than anyone in history. And social media influencing definitely plays a big role in purchases that are done on impulse. All right, and so here's how we can break the cycle. The 48-hour rule is really, really big with this one. Make sure you put a 48-hour hold on anything that you're trying to buy online. If you still want it in 2 days, then by all means, go ahead. And you need to, in that time, make sure that you can really afford it. If you got to do buy now, pay later, if you have to put it on a credit card, you may want to reconsider it. Another thing you can do is remove any stored payment information. That is going to give you a natural pause point. It's going to make you go look for your credit card. It's going to make you go through one extra hoop. And so it kind of tests, how bad do I really want this thing? And it's going to give you a little bit more time than just hitting a one-click buy button. And then another thing you can do, especially if it's a higher ticket item, is to put it on a 30-day wish list or a want list. If you still want that thing in 30 days, then by all means go for it if you can afford it. But you'll be surprised at how many things you don't really want all that much after a whole month has passed. It's going to help you save a lot of money. And so remember, this isn't just about saying no to every purchase that we desire, guys. This is about being intentional about how we are choosing to spend our hard-earned money. Next up on our list is the extended warranty scam. Now, a lot of us know that it's not really worth buying these nowadays, but some people still fall for this one. And you may be falling for one and you don't even realize it. Let me explain. Every single time you buy an electronic device or an appliance, you are hit with a warranty pitch because they make it seem so logical. You want to protect your investment or your purchase, right? But what they don't tell you is that extended warranties are one of the highest profit margin items in retail. And there's a reason for that. The math behind warranties is very fascinating. These companies make 60 to 80% profit margin because they know exactly how often products fail and they price the warranties accordingly, okay? And so in the future, just think about it. Why does my $50 toaster oven need a $10 protection plan? Because what you're essentially doing is just adding a 20% markup to those items that you're buying. And now let me talk about the one that still gets me to this day. That is going to be Apple Care. If you get Apple Care right now, put an Apple emoji in the comment section because I need to know that I'm not alone here, okay? I keep this on my iPhone. I keep this on my MacBooks in perpetuity. I always have these dang on plans associated with these Apple products. And do you know what? I have never used Apple Care, not once in 20 years. I am canceling Apple Care today. I am not going to let Apple get any more of my money every single month, year in, year out, because why am I doing that? First of all, I have an emergency fund set up. That is the whole point of an emergency fund, guys. If anything breaks or goes wrong, or you have to have something replaced, you've got the money already set aside and earmarked. So stop buying these extended warranties, stop buying these service plans, build up your emergency fund, and just get the money from there. If I need $1,000 to replace my iPhone, that's there. And I would have saved so much money over these years just from forfeiting that service plan. Now, this next wealth destroyer is especially sneaky because it feels so much like normal spending. We have all been trained to expect that certain purchases or certain times of the year are just expensive. But what if I told you that the difference between peak and off-peak pricing is getting bigger every year? The travel industry alone made an extra $93 billion last year just from peak pricing. That is money coming straight from our pocket. So a family vacation costing $4,000 during peak season often only costs $2,200 during the off season. And so here's a smart timing strategy for when you're planning your next trip. You want to aim to book your flights and your hotels at least 6 to 8 weeks ahead. And the closer that you can get to booking a year out, the better, because you can wait on those amazing deals to reveal themselves over a much longer period of time. If you can, instead of traveling during peak season, try to travel during shoulder season. That's going to be that time in between peak and before you hit your low season. All right, so on that slope down is where you want to book your travel, because it's still a very desirable time to travel, and you'll deal with less people, less tourism, and it's not a horribly desirable time to go. And if you're someone that has never used a price tracking tool, you have to take advantage of these. First of all, they're free to use. Second of all, they're going to send you alerts when prices have fallen on flights that you're looking at or on hotels that you're looking at. My favorites include things like Skyscanner, Google Flights, Points.me, and Upgraded Points. They are great, and again, they're free to use. They will save you a ton of money. And so let's all try to put an end to being so cavalier about how we book our travel. There is a lot of money to be saved here because we typically earmark so much to take that nice vacation year in, year out, and sometimes multiple times a year. Now, this next one is going to be the bank fee drain. You might be thinking that bank fees are just this minor annoyance, but they're actually a wealth destroyer hiding in plain sight, because a lot of these banks will nickel and dime you to death with fees, because banks made over $34 billion in overdraft fees alone last year. The average American is going to pay $250 annually in bank fees. And these aren't just fees. This is pure profit for banks and a pure loss for you. How are they going to be charging you so much money for them to hold your deposits? They make so much money on every dollar that you deposit at their banks. You would be shocked. They shouldn't be charging you all of this money in fees. And some of the common culprits are going to be $35 per incident in overdraft fees, ATM transactions, $3 to $5 if you go outside of their network or use a different bank, monthly maintenance fees, $12 to $15 per month. You should not be paying a monthly maintenance fee on your bank account. If you're doing that, if you are paying overdraft fees, you need to find another bank. There's no reason to be paying a bank $180 per year to hold your money. All right, the next one on our list is going to be one that probably everyone has fallen victim to, okay? This one is the unused gym membership. The average unused gym membership wastes about $480 a month, because not everybody is just going to a Planet Fitness paying $10 a month. Because if you're a member of a boutique training gym or a CrossFit gym, these memberships can cost you upwards of $200 per month. And so if you are someone that has not stepped foot in the gym in over 90 days, cancel your membership, okay? You don't need to rest with this false sense of hope that you're going to get in shape, that you're going the next week or the next month. Just go ahead and cancel it. If you decide it's time to really get serious again, you can always sign back up. Now, some of the better alternatives, if you're not using that gym membership that you're paying for, is to maybe look at buying a la carte. This is very popular at gyms nowadays, especially if you're going to one of the higher end boutique gyms. You can pay per visit. If you're not going 2 to 3 times a week, if you're only going 2, 3, 4 times a month, you're going to come out better just getting the per visit price, because you won't be paying money when you're not using it. And you need to definitely consider starting to build up a workout routine from home if you're not going to the gym regularly. The last time I checked, it's free to hike a mountain. You can go jog, run outdoors, do some calisthenics at home. That's free. Then when you are knocking that out week after week, go back to the gym. All right, now the last one on our list is going to be online gambling and lottery tickets. All right, between sports betting apps and lottery tickets, gambling has never been more accessible. Those online ads make it seem completely normal to be gambling, but here's the truth. It's designed to separate you from your money. The sports betting apps use psychology tricks to hook you. First of all, they're going to give you free bets to get started. Then they're going to send you push notifications to your phone of these can't miss opportunities. You're going to feel social pressure during big games like a playoff game or Super Bowl when the stakes are highest. They're always promising these huge payouts for these complex parlays that you are not going to win. And then of course, they're really good at allowing instant deposits and delayed withdrawals of your money. And lottery tickets, there is a better chance of you being struck by lightning while riding a unicycle than winning the Powerball jackpot. So why are you buying those lottery tickets? You are not going to win. But people still go and spend an average of $70 a month on lottery tickets and sports betting apps. But here's what makes this one truly devastating to me. Lower income communities spend a disproportionate amount of their income on gambling, hoping for that life-changing win. The apps and the lottery companies know exactly what they are doing with their marketing. You get quick dopamine hits from almost winning. You have false hope of solving your financial problems. You focus on winners, ignoring the millions and millions of losers week after week. And so what they're doing is making it feel like it's some sort of legitimate investment strategy for so many people out there. And the hard truth is the house always wins. And that's not just a saying, that is a mathematical certainty. Wealthy people do not buy scratch-off tickets and they do not bet their money away on apps. You will never build wealth gambling. And so the real path to wealth isn't through chance. It's going to be through consistent, smart decisions with your money. And so if you're someone that's tempted to place a bet or to buy a ticket, I want you to try transferring that money to an investment account instead, and let's see how much better you do over the long run. I can assure you that your future self is going to thank you. And so remember that in the end, these tips are not about never spending money. It's about being intentional so that we can build wealth. If you avoid just 3 of these traps, you could be on your way to saving and investing an extra $500 a month. That is enough to transform your financial future. And so remember that building wealth is not all about making these huge sacrifices. It's a lot more about spotting these little small leaks that are draining your financial future. And so if this video helps you spot some of the wealth leaks in your life, make sure you put it down in the comment section. I love to hear about this kind of stuff so that we can all build wealth together. And if you are someone that needs help building a savings plan or how to figure out how you can save $10,000 fast, check out my next video, okay? Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you can find more practical ways to help you build wealth. Until next time, you guys, thanks for being here. I'm Rashida and I'm out.